Hi guys, welcome to video number 20. Slightly different video today because I'm not joining in, so I'm just sat here talking to you, okay, like we would be in the gym, okay, which I'm sorely missing, okay. I can't wait to get you all back in the gym and get into some proper training, okay. But however many weeks away we are from that, okay, it's important that we keep our core skills going, okay, especially as we start to get towards the end of lockdown and we start to think about getting back in the gym. It's important that we keep up those key skills. Okay, so we're going to work on our levers today. Okay, and instead of you just being at home and then sort of trying or not really trying on your levers and that being it, I want your feedback. Okay, I want your results coming to me. Okay, so you're going to need pen and paper and a timer for today's video, okay, and I'm going to talk you through some exercises that I'd like you to do, and then I want your results sending through to me, okay, so I know exactly how you're getting on. Okay, instead of them going on a Facebook page and everyone can see them, okay, this isn't like that. I want them emailed to me personally so I can go through these and no one will ever know your scores, okay, except me. Alright, so get ready to pause because I'm going to hold up my pad. Yours should look similar, okay, probably neater. Okay, but that is what I want you to write down. Okay, that is your name. Oh, tilt it. Half lever, hold. Kickouts. Half lever, hold. Russian lever, hold. Straddle Eva, hold. And then challenges 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, hopefully you paused and you wrote down all of those. Okay, I know my writing's not great, but hopefully you've got all those written down. I'm going to talk you through them anyway. Okay, so without further ado, first exercise is going to be a half lever hold. Okay, so on parallettes, on the floor, on dining room chairs, I don't mind. Push up, legs horizontal in a half lever. Slightly above is okay, too high is not okay, and below horizontal, even slightly below horizontal, is not okay. So horizontal is great, slightly higher is fine. And I want you to just push up, start your timer, and hold for as long as you can. Okay? And then as soon as you come down, as soon as your feet hit the floor, stop your timer and write down that time next to half lever hold. Okay, the first one. Okay, so I'm gonna let you pause the video now, and then you can do that first exercise. Okay, so that should be done, and you should have a time written on your notepad. Second exercise is going to be half lever kickouts. Okay, so what I'm going to try and describe this to you. So you're going to sit facing a wall. Okay, so my camera is the wall. Okay, I'm going to put my parallettes down so that when I stretch my legs out in a pike sit ready for a half lever, my feet want to be about a foot away from the wall. Okay, about a foot. Okay, now at the base of that wall where your feet are pointing is a cushion. Okay, so you sat parallettes at the ready, about a foot away from the wall, that's your feet, and a cushion. Okay, you're going to push up to a half lever and you're going to kick or get your feet as close to the wall as you can without touching that cushion. So we're going to aim our feet upwards and back to a half lever, not touching the floor. So we're going to go kick out and back, kick out and back, kick out and back. Okay, now we've done this just in a space, we've done this in the gym, just half lever kickouts, but our feet tend to go down a lot. Okay, so that's why you're doing it in front of a wall, something to aim for, okay, and something to try and avoid kicking. Okay, so that should make a lot of sense to us. If not, just get in touch with me, okay, and I'll try and show you. Okay, but what I'd like you to do, please, is I'd like you to record the number of kickouts you managed before your heels hit the floor again. Okay, so we're in half lever. This is your cushion against the wall. And we're going to go up and back, up and back, up and back. Okay, so you should be pushing your hips out every time you do a half lever. Okay, and when we come back, our feet can drop if we're weak. So as soon as your heels touch the floor, it's game over. I want you to write down that number. Okay, now if you only do a couple, I'd like us, please, in total to do at least 20 kickouts. Okay, so you might have a go. Your heels might hit the floor after 2, so you write down 2 and you move on. I don't want that. If that happens, you write down 2, but I want you to keep going until we've done at least 20, and then we'll move on. Okay? So we've done some conditioning. Hopefully that all makes sense. I'll give you an opportunity now to pause and have a go at those kickouts and write down that maximum number. Off you go. Okay, so now that's done, I would like, so we should have a half lever hold, maximum held, first time fresh. Then we've done our kickouts, hopefully that's a nice big number. And I'd like to do a second half lever hold. Okay, so on your parallettes, on your chair, on the floor, whatever, another half lever hold, maximum hold, and then write it down. Go. Okay, next exercise is purely for our flexibility. We're about to do some Russian levers or V levers, okay, which is half levers here, Russian lever, legs are vertical, okay, or as close to vertical as we can manage. Okay, so before we do that, I'd like to do a pike fold for 1 minute. So pause the video, start your timer, 1 minute in pike fold, your best pike fold, off you go. Alright, that should be done. We are going to move on to a Russian lever. Okay, so we're going to go push up on our parallettes or our dining room chairs or the floor. And we're going to lift our legs as high as we can, bringing our hips away from our arms. The more our hips come forwards, the further we can go. Okay, so we've got half lever, Russian lever, and mana is almost completely upside down, and we'll do some practice on that in a sec. But we're going to do a vertical lift as high as you can, as high as you can manage, even if that's just a high half lever. Just lift it and hold it for as long as you can. Okay, as soon as your legs come down towards a half lever, it's game over. All right, and stop your timer and write down your time. Off you go. All right, so that should be done. Next exercise, as I said, we're going to practice some little manners. Okay, this will improve your Russian lever, and it might give you a little bit of a feel towards a manner. Okay, but only when we're with that little bit more advanced. Okay, so don't worry if not. What you're going to do is, your sofa is perfect. Okay, you want to be sat with your back to something. The sofa is perfect because you'd be sat on the floor, and the seat part of your sofa should be just below your shoulder height. Okay, so if you're on parallettes, you should be able to lean your shoulders onto the back of your sofa potentially. The idea is we're going to lift towards a Russian lever. Okay, we can lean our shoulders onto the sofa. That'll take a bit of our weight from us, and we can start to think about pushing our hips over to try and put our feet pointing at the back of the sofa or the cushions. Okay, so hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. If not, ask your parents and get them involved too, and they can help. Okay, but you're going to sit with your back, sit on the floor with your back to the sofa, lean, shoulders over, and try and get those legs as far over your head as you can. Okay, and I would like you to do same as we did with the kickouts. I'd like to do a minimum of 20. Okay, so have 20 practices just lifting or jumping into it and trying to hold each one for a second or two. Okay, see how high you can get those feet. Okay, 20 times. Go. Okay, so that should be done. We are going to do a second Russian lever maximum hold. Okay, so this is just on your parallettes on the floor. You're going to lift your legs as high as you can with straight knees towards the vertical. The vertical line is the perfect. Okay, so as close to that as we can. Time it and write down that hold. Okay, off you go. Okay, so on our sheet now we've got half lever held, time, kickouts, the amount we did before our feet hit the floor, a second half lever hold, a Russian lever hold, and a second Russian lever hold. We should have five things written down on our pad. I would like everybody now to relax into a Japana for 1 minute. Okay, legs not too wide. Okay, we know that's false, so bring those legs towards 90 degrees, a right angle, and stretch it out as far as you can, and hold it for a minute and time it. Okay, off you go. Alright, on your parallettes, I would like you to hold a straddle Eva as long as you can. Okay, now with a straddle Eva, we've just done these on Zoom last week, okay, with our hands very narrow. Okay, I want arms at least shoulder width. Okay, and as you do a straddle Eva, you should have your elbows just by the inside of your knee. Okay, so that's where we should be. It shouldn't be too close towards our groin. It should be towards the inside of our knee. Okay, and we don't want our feet pointed down. We want to try and elevate those feet and point them up slightly. Okay, keeping our chest up and really closing that hip angle to get those feet up. Okay, so a straddle lever hold, maximum hold. I hope it's a really long time. We might be getting tired, we might not. But time it, write it on your notepad. All right, go. Okay, so the next exercise we're going to do is the rocks to high hip lift. Okay, so again, we did these on Zoom. You start stood behind your parallettes in straddle. You lean forwards. Okay, as you lean forwards, you should feel the weight come off your feet. You point your toes, you lift those feet off the floor. You keep them pointing at the floor. They don't go out to the side, they don't go back. You keep them pointing down with straight knees. Okay, and as your feet come off the floor, you should push through your shoulders to try and get the maximum push out. Okay, we don't want these shoulders to close, okay, and our hips to come down. So we want to rock, we want to push our hips or our bottom up to the ceiling, and that happens through the shoulders. Okay, but keeping that tight and closed hip angle. Okay, so we're going to try and hit that Japana on our hands. That's what we're after. Okay, so it's 20 rocks to a high hip lift with that extra push through the shoulders to open that angle, and I'd like you to do 20. All right, so in your own time, pause this and off you go. Okay, so now that's done, the next exercise we're going to do is our second straddle lever hold. Okay, so we've done one, we've got our time. You're going to do a second after those high hip lifts. Okay, again, straight knees, still keep your chin head neutral, and still push down through your shoulders and close that hip angle as much as you can. Okay, straddle lever hold, go. Alright, so on your notepad now you should have a time next to everything, and the only thing left to do is challenges 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so there's no way that I can watch you do these whilst you do them and give you feedback or say no, do that again, because, okay, so I'm trusting you guys to do this as close to the way I'm telling you, okay, as possible, okay, all to your ability. I'm not expecting anybody to be doing this absolutely perfect, but it would be nice. So challenge number 1, and again you're going to write down your score and send them to me, is we're going to go half lever to Russian lever to half lever to Russian lever to half lever, and so on and so on and so on and so on, and you're going to write down how many you've managed. Okay, so the exercise is half lever, Russian lever, half lever, and that last half lever is very important. So if you go half lever, fall backwards, half lever, Russian lever, fall backwards, you've done none. Okay, so take your time on this. I'll let you practice a couple of goes before you really sort of try and go for a maximum number, because I want this to be good. I want you to really feel good about how many you've done. So half lever, I'm not asking you to hold these for a long time, but I am asking for a stop. Okay, we must go half lever, Russian lever, half lever, Russian lever, half lever, Russian lever. Okay, it can be very easy to just sort of rock it like this and never actually stop in any of those positions and just rock. Okay, I don't want that. We have to stop in half lever, lift and stop, drop and stop and lift. Okay, and you should always finish in a half lever before you come down. Can't go into the floor. I want that last half lever. Alright, so count how many half lever, Russian lever, half levers you manage in a row with straight knees and stopping in each position. Okay, and then write down your score next to challenge 1. Okay, good luck, and off you go. Pause. Alright, that should be all done, and hopefully we've got a good score, okay, and one that I'm going to enjoy reading. Okay, challenge number 2. We are going to go straddle Eva to high hip lift, back to straddle Eva. Okay, it's not something we're new to. We did this on Zoom on Friday. Straddle Eva, high hip lift, straddle Eva. Again, the hip angle remains closed. Okay, all we are doing is opening the shoulder angle and bringing it back to straddle Eva again. Okay, so straddle Eva, open it up and down again. And we don't actually want to open our hip angle at all. Okay, the legs should remain as wide as you can manage them in Straddle Eva and your high hip. So straight knees, straight arms. I don't want people bending their elbows. Okay, if anything, that's just going to drop your weight closer to the floor. Same with the half lever Russian levers. The straddle lever is so important. So we go straddle lever, high hip, back to straddle lever. Okay, if you go high hip and overbalance, that one didn't count. Okay, but the one previous maybe it did. Okay, so straddle lever, high hip, lift straddle lever, as many as you can in a row. Hit each position, stop it for a second before you come down. I don't want rocks. Okay, I don't want swings. Okay, just slow, stop. And record your score next to challenge 2. Good luck. And off you go. Okay, so that should be done. And hopefully, again, it's another good score. Okay, and you're proud of it and you want to keep this going. So challenge number 3 is to go from a half lever to a straddle lever, back up to half lever again. Okay, now this can be tricky, especially if you're on the floor, because to stoop through can be difficult. Okay, so that's where you're, I don't even know if you can do it on dining room chairs because your straddle lever will get in the way. But I'm going to leave it with you guys to try and make this happen, okay? Even if you use dumbbells on the grass, okay, so they don't roll. Use what you can. Okay, to go half lever, straddle lever, half lever. Again, there's no tucking of the knees. We want to go half lever, lift our bottom as high as we can, then straddle, drop into a controlled straddle lever, stop for a second, back up to a high hip lift, feet are closed, back to half lever, and you have to complete those 3 skills in order to get 1 point. Back and through for a second. Alright? Straight knees, this is pure movement through the shoulders with a little bit of scissoring with the legs. Again, there is no great deal of opening your hip angle. Okay, you should go from 90 degrees to folded back to 90 degrees. There's not a whole lot of movement there. Okay, so as many as you can in your own time. Write down your score next to challenge 3. Good luck. Alright, maybe this has been a huge challenge. Okay, maybe it's been a bit of an eye-opener, this is something that we all really need to work on. Okay, I'm looking forward to having your scores in so I know where we're at, okay, because I think this might be something that we really do have to work hard on. Feel free to repeat this video as often as you can and compare scores and try and beat your own scores, okay, because that's ultimately what we're trying to do, is we're trying to self-improve. Okay, so if you've done really well and it was brilliant, you can always do better, okay? If you've not done so well and you're a little bit disappointed, condition yourself, do these exercises as many times as you can, come back and do it again and beat those scores, okay? Right, so challenge number 4. We're going to combine the lot and we're going to go from half lever to Russian lever. Now at this point we should be completely folded in our hip. The idea is we're going to keep that hip completely folded as we lift through and out to that straddle lever. Okay, and then we're going to come back up and back through to half lever, and that's the one sequence. That gets you 1 point. Okay, so half lever, we close into the Russian lever, keep folded in the hip as we come through to the straddle lever, and back up through to half lever, back up to Russian and through. Alright, stop in each position for 1 second. Don't just swing it. Okay, don't bend your legs, don't bend your arms. Always pushing through your shoulders so we're nice and high off the floor. And repeat, 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 and write down that score for me. Okay, I'm going to let you pause and do it, and then come back to me. Alright, so that's everything we need to do. That's all the work. We should now have a completely finished and full pad with all our scores. Okay, and like I said, I'll put the details at the end of this video because I want them emailed to me, okay, to my work email, so I can have a look at them. Okay, that's just take a screenshot of it, take a photo of your notepad, so I can have a look. Okay, I did say repeat this video. Self-improvement is everything. Okay, so if you've done okay, do better. If you've done amazing, do even better. Okay, that's what it is all about. We know sitting in straddle putting our hands leaning forwards and doing our heel lifts is a really good hip flexor exercise. If we're struggling to keep our feet high enough in our straddle levers, if our feet are low, that's a really good one. Okay, and doing it with our feet together. Okay, hands either side of your feet and lifting your heels again, closed leg. Good exercise for your hip flexors. Okay, for you things like your Russian levers. Okay, generally get on your parallettes, get on the chairs, get on the floor, and just do some levers. Okay, it's not rocket science. We can do exercises in the gym. Okay, but while you're at home, just have a go. Maximum holds, little kickouts like in the half levers, little hip lifts in the straddle levers. All this sort of thing is working our shoulders exactly as we need to. Alright, so that's this entire video. It's about 20 minutes, 25 minutes long, and then you've been pausing right the way through as well, so it's a nice long video. Okay, so good work, looking forward to seeing your scores, and we will see you for a Wheel of Doom Wednesday. Cheers guys, well done.